Hello, YouTube. I got my car back. It is 5:32 p.m. Saturday, July 16th, 2022. I was able to get information and say it correctly without stumbling because I got my new iPhone and it has the info right there. Still not doing anything useful on that iPhone yet, but I will. It's I think so. I think I might have that shit all squared away by the end of the day. I'm not really good with that kind of stuff, and my smartphone mentor has kind of disappeared. So I'm just trying to get on Google and figure out how to do that shit myself. So, but I do have it logged into the iCloud so far. Trying to figure out why I couldn't get my why I haven't been able to restore like what my iPhone was, like I did with the last one, the one that wasn't unlocked and I couldn't use my SIM card in it. My SIM card's working in it, by the way. So yeah, anybody who's got my phone number, you can call me now. It will answer on that phone. I was able to import my contacts, so there's that. But I'm like, where's all my apps and all my settings and stuff? Why am I not able to restore that? And come to find out, I need to do like a full factory reset. So I haven't really done anything with it yet because I need to figure out how to do that factory reset thing. And then from that screen, log in to my iCloud and stuff. But for the moment, I can receive text messages and I can receive phone calls. Of course, so far the only text messages that I've got have been from Circle K and Discover Card. But good to know that automation is still working just fine. Anyway, the air feels good in here right now. Yeah. Hopefully it lasts longer than a day, since the last two fixes have lasted less than a day. I'm pretty confident in it. I talked to Rob about it, and he kind of explained what he did. It was a little over my head, but basically he kind of improvised and did some different circuits and split some stuff apart. Now, he did something similar when I was having problems with my air conditioning in my Mercedes, and what he did with it involved adding an extra switch under the dashboard to turn the compressor on and off, which was okay, I guess. I just, just extra aftermarket mods and stuff. I don't know. I just didn't like that. I told myself, please don't do that to the Saturn. I just want the thermostat controls how they are to just stay how they are. As if there's any way you can avoid it. He's like, dude, you should be happy with some air that works. I'm like, no, I get it. Just there's got to be a way to fix it to where it works right and isn't, all completely changed up. And apparently he has, but I don't exactly. He kind of explained it has something to do with there's a relay that might be drawing too much power, which he replaced, and it didn't, and that's what didn't fix it last time. And then a fan that I don't know. I don't fully understand it, which is why one of the main reasons he's doing it. But anyway, the important thing is all the controls seem to be just like just go ahead and pass on the right, asshole. Thank you. All the controls seem to be like they're supposed to be now, and which they have been, but it's blowing nice and cold. So, of course, the big test will be is it still blowing nice and cold tomorrow. So I did say I was going to give an update on what's going on with Priscilla. At this point, it's way too much to talk about, and it's I'm even confused about myself, but at least we did. I feel like we finally aired a bunch of our grievances. And granted, there was some shouting, but there was also some hugging and holding and things of that nature as well. And I did make it very clear that no matter what's going on with our relationship, I need her out of my apartment. I need my space. And kind of in a nutshell, where she went with that was, well, I don't want to be somebody's girlfriend. I want to be somebody's wife. I want to be, and you're not capable of that. And she's right. I'm not. She's like, well, I want it to be our space, and I want it to be, not your stuff and my stuff, but our stuff. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole our space and our stuff shit. I'm just not. I mean, what's mine is mine. I'm very possessive of it. It's important to me. She's like, well, I don't just want to be a booty call. I said, well, you're not just a booty call. said, I'm fine with you being in my space as long as you go home to yours at some point. You know, at this point, like, you don't have a home to go to. You're functionally a homeless woman living in my place. And she did when I was like, well, why are you still here? Because it kind of came to a head when she climbed in bed with me and started kind of cuddling with me a little bit. So I tried to kind of feel up on her a little bit, which went into right back into the, well, don't touch me. I'm like, you're in my bed. Well, you can't be in my bed. You can't even be in my apartment. If you don't want me touching you, why do you still live here? If you don't want me touching you, why are you still living here? Bottom line. And I finally got a straight answer from her. Well, I can't afford to move anywhere. That's something you're going to have to figure out. You're a college graduate. I'm a high school dropout. I'm getting it done. I'm a high school dropout. I'm getting it done. I've been working in a warehouse, working my ass off, fucking grunt work now for I mean, it's not really grunt work now, I'm a forklift operator, but still, like, you know, I took a job that high school dropouts that are 18 years old are taking. I took that same job, fucking worked my ass off, moving boxes around. If I can do it and make enough money to do it, you, as a college graduate with a 4-year degree from ASU, should have no problem. You've no excuses. You've had years. If you're looking for a roommate situation, you need to be a roommate with somebody who wants a roommate situation. I am not you. And even if you are giving me all the sex in the world, it doesn't change the fact that I don't want you and your mess in my space. I still want all that stuff out. And of course I went off about the kitchen, and went off about her stuff in my daughter's room, and kind of said I wasn't going to talk about it. That's all I'm talking about. It's pretty consuming. I told her it'd even be different if maybe, just maybe, it's just the situation. I said a lot of it's a situation and how you moved in, that you just took over my space. You just came in without being invited, without me saying I was okay with it, and then you told me that. Then you told me that, you know, that you were going to be out in a couple of weeks and have your own place, but, you know, that was nearly 4 years ago. So, well, it didn't work out. And she's telling me, and I guess she had qualified, like right around the time she was getting evicted, she had qualified for a housing voucher through the city of Tempe, but she couldn't find an apartment that was willing to take the voucher. Now that is a legit problem, and that's something that's getting worse. For people that are on like Section 8 housing or Home Inc. or any other kind of those housing assistance programs, those programs are broken right now because landlords are not accepting them. And those programs mostly have limits on how high of a rent they're willing to pay. Like how high of, like you can only rent an apartment or a house that is X dollars or less. And now there's just simply no available rentals in that price range. So, and that's the problem she ran into in Tempe. And for what it's worth, the housing prices in Tempe skyrocketed years before the housing prices in the rest of the valley skyrocketed. Same thing in Scottsdale, which is why it seemed ironic that when Arizona home prices are going up and Phoenix prices for like 2 years in a row, Phoenix had the largest increases in rental prices and home prices. Ironically, Scottsdale did not. Scottsdale had one of the lowest increases, and that's because Scottsdale had its increase a few years ago, and it was already, you know, pretty much as high as the market was going to bear. It, you know, it was already Scottsdale got it first. I mean, you know, if other people work in college degrees and get places like that place that I just saw on that right, that Hackensack place, there's no reason she can't. It's like, anyway. But I'm like, she's like, well, then I couldn't get it. Okay, I get that. I understand that. I get it. That's a legit thing. I said, but when that fell through, why did you just simply stop looking for a place? If you couldn't make it happen in Tempe, you needed to go to Mesa or Phoenix or Chandler or go back to Georgia. I think I said take your monkey ass back to Georgia. Yeah, given the racial component of our relationship, that was probably not the best word choice, but that's not how I meant it. Just saying. Anyway, oh, by the way, this is why I came this way. I thought I'd share the zone with y'all. As I mentioned, I drove through here the other day on my way to the Justice Courts, and I was looking to see if I could get a court order to get Priscilla out of my place, and was just dumbfounded at just how much this place has exploded with tents. But I mean, straight up, if she can't afford to rent a place, this is where she should be living. I don't wish that upon anybody, but just saying. Find a roommate situation with a person who wants a roommate situation. So if I turn right here on Jackson, that'll take me towards the Justice Courts, but I'm going to go left. Just to kind of go into the epicenter of it. I always find it interesting how people, the homeless, will use baby strollers as push carts for their stuff. Like that woman who just drove past. The accumulation of garbage in front of these tents is just so, always seemed overwhelming to me. So much garbage. I don't know, when I was homeless, okay, that line there on the right, I'm pretty sure that's people lining up to eat dinner at the Andre House, which when I was homeless was something I did almost every day for probably about a year and a half. This area was nowhere near that bad then. And there were definitely no tents here. Phoenix didn't allow tents down here. They finally just kind of lost that war, and now they're allowing it in this area. Now they stop it in some other areas, but they just, obviously they're condoning it here. I find the chains are different. How they're got the little chains denoting where you can have your tent and where you can't. This is Madison. I sometimes talk about where I buy a lot of electronics. I used to call it Ghettotronics. It's that building directly in front of me that's on the right. That used to be the West Tech Recycling building where their store was, also known as Ghettotronics. So I used to always park on this street when I'd be looking for electronics there. Surprisingly, there's not as many tents on this street. So this is Madison. And of course, these people don't use the sidewalk. They just push their stolen shopping carts and their little push carts right down the middle of the street. Now if I go to the left, now that's the homeless clinic there on the left, Human Services or whatever it is. Human Services campus. There's like a whole campus of services for the homeless that includes Cash Shelter and this thing called Circle the City and whatever, and that's all there on the left. But as you see, a lot of people just assume live in these tents on the outside because there's rules inside there. There's no drug use. Well, I'm sure there is drug use, but I mean, there's not supposed to be any drug use inside there. Interestingly enough, the chains are still going on here, but once I hit the historic cemetery, the tents stop. Wow, and there's no sidewalk. There's no sidewalk here either. Anyway, it's always over by 15th Avenue. The zone doesn't make it here because once we leave here, it's all state and county, mostly state government offices in this area. Anyway, no, I mean, the whole reason I didn't throw Priscilla out immediately is she was my girlfriend, and I really did love her, and there's a part of me that still does love her, but so I didn't want her to be homeless, but I told her, it'd be different if you and I went and looked for a place together and bought a house together and made an R space and laid down some rules as to how our space is to be managed and what within our space constitutes my space and your space and what the expectations are of the community space. Because of the kitchen, no, the way you keep a kitchen, I can't have an R space that has a kitchen like what you've done to my kitchen. Can't do it. No, I won't have that in my home. Disgusted you've got it in my home right now. You want to do that to your kitchen, that's fine, it's your kitchen. State Capitol on the left there on 17th Avenue. Kind of curious what radio station I'm listening to. All my presets were just playing crap, so I just started hitting scan and landed on a random oldies station and really enjoyed what they've been playing. This button shows it. Yeah, 92.7. So I like the Hollies. This is a cool old song. I've been listening to my 8-track deck, my new 8-track deck that Jeff's professional audio repair rebuilt for me, and thoroughly enjoying it today. Listening to the Carpenters and David Bowie and Joan Armatrading. But I think when I get home, I'll put on some Hollies. Pretty sure I have the album that has this on it on 8-track. Yeah, State Capitol on the left. There's a time I used to know what most of these buildings are, but I kind of forgot. Yeah, this is all state government stuff here, I'm pretty sure. That's Monroe, Arizona Department of Something Services. I couldn't see the other's word because of the glare. And this is Van Buren Street. I dig that building on the left, like an old historic gas station, which obviously isn't a gas station anymore, but I dig that the structure is still there. Kind of looks like it's functioning as a tire and rim shop right now. Sure would be neat if it still was a gas station. Although I don't think you could maneuver one of today's oversized killing machine style trucks in that space underneath the awning where the pumps are. Kind of neat to see an old structure like that still standing now. Tire shop. I've done this stretch of 17th Avenue in a long time. So I don't know what the future lies for Priscilla, but I did straight up tell her that I'm changing the locks on the 1st. And even though we were doing some making out and some friendly talk afterwards, I never did tell her I changed my mind on that. And for the most part, I really haven't changed my mind on that. So